Get rich fast with csgofast.com.
So the first series is over at ELEAGUE Group A. It was Renegades versus Luminosity. I'm here with Renegades' coach, peekay, also a former Australian caster. So something bad happened on the second map, but overall, let's just talk about how you guys are feeling after playing the world's best team.
I think the guys at the moment are probably a little bit downbeat. I think that the way that the match ended in 16-0 fashion was a little bit demoralising for them. So at the moment, they're just really sitting back and just trying to distance themselves a little bit and just getting something to eat, something to drink, and just trying to take calm and relax and just have some quiet time to themselves at the moment.
But do you think they know somewhere in their mind that they were playing the world's best team, so it's maybe okay because they can focus on Cloud9 and Liquid in the group?
No. I mean, certainly they know they were playing the world's best team. Yes, to answer your first part. But is it okay? No, it's certainly not okay. We came here with the intention to win all 6 maps in the group stages and give a strong account of ourselves and try and set ourselves up well for the playoffs, which are Thursday and Friday. So in our minds, we're a little bit disappointed because we really thought we were really close, and we were on cobble to getting that win. And things clearly didn't go well on train. So some stuff to talk about and some stuff to fix.
So before this, you were boot camping in Jönköping, Sweden. What was the exact intent of that boot camp? Was it to prepare for ELEAGUE, or was it also to fix mistakes, or was it a lot of things at once to just get better?
Probably neither. I think it was more so after we competed in Korea at the Asia Minor. We were really just keen over that 2-week duration between the Asia Minor and this event to keep ourselves very active with Counter-Strike and to keep up that intensity. So we really didn't want to come back to Australia. We knew that if we were to go to America potentially, which is where we spend most of our time, that a lot of the teams that we'd normally be playing against would be teams such as Luminosity, Cloud9 and Liquid, who we didn't expect would want to prac us, knowing that ELEAGUE was coming up. So really, the next option for us was to go to Europe for 2 weeks, and Sweden was our destination. I actually didn't make the trip myself. I was staying home from Australia, but getting up from midnight till 8 a.m. each night to jump in the server with the guys. But I think it was very rewarding in the sense that we were able to get a lot of high-quality practice for 2 weeks, which is really quite rare for us given the conditions we normally find ourselves in.
Speaking of high-quality practice, and before... Something happened crazy. But before I get into the 2 maps, I heard apparently you guys are going back to boot camping after this, right?
That's not confirmed at this stage. So after this event, there'll be a week layoff, and then we'll have the major quals in Poland. So at this point, we're still a little bit uncertain what our plans are for that 1 week. Part of I guess one suggestion has been that we go to Europe, whether that be Germany or Sweden, we're not quite sure, but we might spend a week in Europe just to again keep up that intensity. But with some other stuff going down in the background, we might need to actually go back via Australia first. So still a little bit unsure.
Okay, so let's talk about Kabul, actually. I had one round in mind from the first half when Azur jumped down through drop and got the ace. What I thought about that round was that a read that someone made when you guys noticed that, I think it was coldzera was on the ace site, to that actually you could like split it up like that?
I think at that point in the round, if I'm not mistaken, it was a 3-on-5, so we needed to really make something happen by that point because we'd already lost 2 early frags. So certainly the decision for Azur to push drop room was him just trying to make something of the round. But then after he found, I think, 2 kills and that word of that rotation that he talked about had come in, he was doing a great job at positioning himself up close towards that A-bomb side and got another 2, and then ultimately the last. So I think it was just Azur's game sense and understanding the context of the round.
Are you satisfied with the T side? Do you think all the players were utilized effectively in their roles, or do you think it was like 9-4, maybe 9-3, 9-4, and then you got the last 2? So were you guys, when that happened and it was 9-6, were you like, okay, this is fine for us?
At 9-6, yes. I think in the context of that first half, though, we actually won the pistol round. So when we were down 9-4, they'd won 9 of 10 rounds at that point. So we were a little bit uncertain about how we were going to find our footing, but we did a really good job on those last couple of rounds in terms of pressurising and utilising the drop room, able to very quickly push out onto the B site, but also through the connector. So at 9-6, we always of the opinion that it leaves you within arm's reach of getting back into the match because, if you win the subsequent pistol and the anti-ecos, you're right back on level peaking at 9-all. So we were quietly confident at 9-6.
And there was a tactical pause in the second half by you guys, right? What was the deal with that? Because I think you were up 1.
We'd won the previous round, but we'd only barely won the round and we didn't have much money. So we wanted to just take that opportunity to have a bit of a break and talk through how we were going to best manage the situation from a financial standpoint, because we knew that if we were to potentially lose that round, we would have been on a hard reset with 2 ecos to come. So it was a good opportunity just to make sure we were all on the same page. We worked out who was getting what guns, and I think we ended up winning that following round.
Okay, and then obviously, unfortunately, you lost in overtime. Train, is there anything you have to say, maybe not about you guys, or anything really, but I was going to ask specifically about Luminosity's defense, whether that was pretty formidable.
Absolutely. We didn't win a single terrorist round, so yes is certainly the answer. I thought Cold Zero in particular and Fallen, both their AWPers did a fantastic job of really moving around the map, and so almost it felt as though from our perspective every choke point or place we went to attack, they always had an AWP there to pick us off one by one. The way that Cold was actually pushing high ramp, I think he did it 2 or 3 times in the half, but every time he did it, it caught us off guard, so they did an incredible job on their CT side.
Do you think, well, I just thought of this question, do you think that when the first half ended, the 16-0 thing was in your minds, considering the result from, well, you weren't there with the team, but the iBuy Power Cup?
Yeah, no, so technically this is my first 16-0. I'm trying to keep it that way now. I don't want to get a second one, but I think when you're down 15-0, it's hard to suggest that you're not thinking of the prospect of a 16-0, but I think there was a bit of a break in between the two halves. I think there might have been an ad break or something of the sorts on the stream, so it was a good opportunity for us just to calm down a little bit, have a little bit of a laugh, to be honest, and just try and regather our composure before we jumped in. Ultimately, we lost the pistol round, and that was the match, but yes is the answer. It's always on your mind at 15-0.
And if Groundhog Day were a reality and you could redo that map, what do you think you guys would have redone? I'm guessing mostly on your T side.
It's a good question. We're about to go away and have a bit of a team chat and a bit of a debrief and try and work that out ourselves. I think without probably giving away too much, I guess my initial thoughts would be trying to perhaps put some more pressure on the defence across the entirety of the map. I think they did, or perhaps they weren't put under enough pressure towards the Vines area of the map, but also towards Teton as well, after they laid down those early utility grenades. So we'll have a bit of a chat about how we can put them under a bit more pressure and how we can perhaps combat the double AWP setup that they've been running with for the entirety of the game.
Speaking more generally of the wider tournament, are you personally impressed by ELEAGUE overall, or do you think the players are impressed? Do you think it sets a new standard for tournaments?
Oh, 100%. I know the players are impressed. I know that from all our experiences ourselves so far in the 2 or 3 days that we've been here in Atlanta, and also from speaking to other players, that everyone's in awe at the way the tournament has been run. One of the, I think, tournament commissioners, Min, has been extremely open about his intentions of trying to make an event that's for the players and is supportive of the players, and it certainly feels that way. Everything that we need or have asked for has been provided, and the transparency from the tournament admins has been incredible, and all you have to do is walk out through the little studio side door onto the stage and it makes for an incredible sight. It's fantastic to see, and certainly fingers crossed that the tournament, I guess, is well received and can lead to bigger and better things. I know that they have Season 2 planned at this stage, and certainly so far everything would suggest that that would be incredible.
So now, talking about maybe the future, the first question I have is, you guys have kind of been at a dearth of offline events in 2016. I think only the 2 Asian minors and the Columbus main qualifier. Yeah. So is there a plan to sort of make an effort to attend more, or was that not by your choice? Sort of talk about like the idea of being more prominent, attending more offline events, because that also affects ranking, as you know, the HLTV ranking, for example.
Certainly it's our intent to attend every offline event that we possibly can. I think that unfortunately with some events that were clashed with dates, I know that we couldn't go to DreamHack Austin as a result of the Asian minor and Korea being on at the same time. Some other events we narrowly missed out qualifying, so I think in the Pro League we were just short. We finished 6th or 7th. We didn't have an opportunity to compete in ECS, so I think that every event that we could have attended we have, but certainly would love to attend more. We love going to LAN, we love competing, this is what we enjoy doing, and it's such a privilege to be able to do so.
Speaking of the Asian minors, you guys experienced firsthand what Asian CS is like, which maybe some people haven't yet, barring Liquid and Luminosity and a few other examples. Do you really think that there's a fearsome tiger, you know, coming out of the East, to be a little bit cheesy?
This is probably a controversial answer, but no, I don't. I think it's fantastic that the scene is growing and developing, and I think at the moment the more competitions that are coming up there, the better, because it gives more players an opportunity, and the scene is growing at such a rate. But in terms of Tyloo, I think we had the chance to play them 3 times over 3 BO3s when at the last Asia Minor, and they won 2 of the 3. But I think that a lot of the hype and a lot of the talk at the moment is perhaps coming from them not being as exposed or having as much exposure as other teams. I think that the way that they play, it's very aggressive. They like to force by, but it's nothing too different to the other teams. I think that once they've been in the spotlight a little bit more, I think that perhaps some of that stigma might go away a little bit.
Would it be fair to suggest that they're sort of in a state like an embryonic stage that North America was in or Europe was in 2 years ago, where they're still figuring out the proper way to work as teams? Because I see a lot of Asian teams just rely on going nuts with aim, but I don't really see the tactical depth that you get from other regions.
Possibly. I mean, I know that some of the teams I've marvelled quite a bit at some of the stuff that CyberZen have been doing, some of the setups and some of the in-game smarts that they've been bringing to their CT side has been really interesting and fun to watch. So I do think that there are certainly some tactical things that people can take away from them. I don't think they're all about the aim. I just think that their style at the moment just means that what I would say is they haven't really had as much opportunity to compete against some of the bigger teams, so not as much is known about them.
Yeah, I should have said that I don't actually watch that much, so I couldn't have known, the real tactics. But in any case, now the focus is not Asian CS. The focus is 2 American teams. As a closer, who do you think, this is a tough question to ask coaches, but who do you think will be the easier team to play out of those 2?
Out of Liquid and Cloud9?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think easier.
Yeah, maybe let's just say, who do you think you'll be more aware? You know what, I'm gonna, one second, I have to cut. What's a way to ask it?
Certainly from our playing perspective, we'd be more comfortable playing Liquid. We've practiced against them quite a lot. We've played against them in a lot of different competitions, and we have a good understanding of how they play. We're really happy with the maps that have come out. We'll be playing Liquid on Mirage and Train. Might sound like a counterintuitive thing to say we're happy with Train, but no, we are happy. So we're looking forward to that matchup. I think they will be first tomorrow for us, first up.
All right, well, I'll be glad to see it, and that'll be tomorrow, of course. Renegades are going to go home now and rethink everything that happened. Thanks for your time, PK, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys, one of the players in more elevated spirits. And we'll have more coverage from the official first day of ELEAGUE, so stay tuned to HLTV.